What's going on YouTube? This is Dre the Plug coming at you guys with some more technical heat. And in this video, I'm basically going to describe to you guys how to make electricity flow from left to right or from right to left, and just really show you guys how to construct this into your project. If you want to add a project where you want flowing LEDs, kind of just similar to like if you go to an arcade like a Dave and Buster's or something like that, and you see lights moving from left to right, or it manipulates you to think that the electricity is moving from left to right, but it's more so the electricity is going into each individual component from left to right. So I'm pretty much going to show you guys how to do that. If y'all wanted to just add this to your project or something like that, I'm going to show you guys how to. So I'm gonna actually use an LED example. Like I said in all my videos, I use these LEDs, but you can use other electronics in between it if you want. No matter what you can think of, if you want other things to flow, you can do that. For example, like if I said before, like a motor, a fan, anything along those lines, if you want the electricity to flow through all of these components in a certain way. But this will be lights. It'll be easier just to show you guys the lights turning on, then turning off. So I could just show you guys the whole process, show you guys the code, and really just give you guys some more technical heat, man. Let's get it straight to plug. Let's get into constructing this light. All right, y'all, so let's get into this code real quick. As you guys can see, we have const int, and then we have a lowestPin, and I set that equal to 2. So like I mentioned before, when you set these pins, you're pretty much setting which pin you want to actually use. And since we're making LEDs flow, obviously we're going to need more than one. So you could pick whichever one that you want to be your lowest pin, and then you could pick whichever one you want to be your highest one. So for example, if you want to, you could put 1 as your lowest, and then you could put your highest as 5, and then you could put pins all in between 1 through 5. Do you have to have one in every single one when you're doing 1 through 5? No, you could have 1 in 1, 1 and 2, and then you could have a pin in 3 and a pin in 4, and you could just not have one in pin 5 if you wanted to. Or if you wanted to have a pin in 1, 2, and then skip 3 and then do 4 and 5, you could do that too. It don't necessarily have to have a pin there, but it's just giving you a range, so the Arduino will know where exactly do you want electricity to flow. So what I'm gonna do in mine, I'm gonna actually do 2 through 9, and I'm gonna basically have it flowing between that range. Then right below that, you see I have my void setup. What I mentioned to you guys before, you gotta have that void setup. Unless if you want your program to work properly, you need the void setup. You're gonna need the void loop. Even if there's nothing inside of it, you still need it to be here in order to work and function, or you'll get an error. So let's get into it. So then you have backslashes, like I said before, those are always the notes. And then you have, see how it have like set pin 2 through 9, like I mentioned before. This is where the electricity is gonna flow. Have your 4 int, and then you have this pin, the lowest pin. This pin is gonna be less than or equal to your highest pin, this pin plus. So basically this is what's going to help you formulate that flowing of electricity. And then you have pinMode, which I say in all my videos, that's what's going to make the electricity come from the Arduino and go to the project that you actually want to happen. So this is the output. So this pin is what's going to initiate the output and have those 5 volts coming out of that Arduino, flowing through the electricity and going through the LEDs and making it function properly. So then right after that, you have your void loop. Void loop is going to set up your entire code of what you want to run over and over and over again. Every time you see void loop, just know it's going to run forever. Until the battery go out or until a function is turned off, it's going to go forever. That's what void loop is. So now it's like, so now I got to put in here, what do I want to basically run forever? So like I said before, if you guys not 100% on exactly what I'm saying when I'm going through this, you still have the backslashes right here for you to read and then use it and go back and have that as a guide. So going back into it, you see you have the same thing from the top where I actually initiated my actual flowing of the power that's coming out. And then you see you have digitalWrite, which I always mention, and you see it has this pin and it has high, which basically means turn on. So high in C++ language, or just coding language in general, that just means turn on. Low means turn off. So you always got to remember that. So if you want to first start off, you see how it has from lowest to highest. So that means starting at where 2 is, pretty much, it's not specifically 2. It don't have to be 2. You don't have to have a port through 2, but it'll start flowing from 2 all the way to 9, and then it'll continue after that. So Here you have from lowest to highest, then it'll flow, it'll turn on and do that. You have your delay, which is 100 milliseconds. 100 milliseconds is just a tenth of a second, just to let you guys have an idea of how fast it'll end up turning on. So then right there, going back down, next you see that you have, this is also going to make it fade from highest to lowest. So it just flipped basically. It's the same exact thing except it flipped. And then from there, you see it's doing the exact same thing as the top one, as the one that's high, going from lowest to highest. It's the same thing right after that one. Same exact thing. And then right here, you see that it's the same thing from before. Now it's going to go back to being high to low. So it pretty much just go from lowest to high, then it goes from highest to low, and it just keep doing that over and over and over and over and over again. And the fact that it loops, you don't really have to really write it a million times. Based on the code, you can clearly already see it's already looping. It's already going from highest to lowest, highest to lowest. And that's pretty much this entire code of how to have LEDs flow. This is just a little breakdown. Let me let you guys know. Let's get into the actual physical demonstration, and let me break down to you guys how to construct it like I always do. That's it, man. Let's get into it. Let's get it, man. We're about to verify this code real quick, make sure that it works properly. As you can see, it's verified. Everything is working properly. So now we're gonna upload it to the Arduino. Let's see. Done. And as you can see, our project is done. So zooming in on the actual sides where you actually see the ports, can you see that? You see it have 2 through 9. That's the ground port right there. But between 2 and 9, the same way we just coded it, you can physically see that. Like, it's doing exactly what I want it to do. It's going in, the wires are coming out, then it's going through these resistors, dropping the actual voltage for the LEDs, and as you can see, the electricity is flowing. It's manipulated to technically flow based on the code. So basically power is just going through each one in a certain amount of seconds, which is that 100 delay time, that 100 milliseconds delay time that we put in. That's what's really giving it that gap in between to flow. So there you go, man. You got it right there. And you see, you got 2, you got 4, you got 7, you got 9. Could I have put in 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah, I could have did that, but I just wanted to, space out the wires a little bit, just give it a little space so it's not too crowded. Then I have it flowing straight to my resistors, going to the positive end of the LEDs, and then on the ground end, I have it flowing right there, going all the way back to my ground, so you guys can actually see that and know what's going on. So as I always do when I explain the whole entire electrical standpoint, the electrical schematics behind the scenes. So 5 volts flows out, goes through the resistors, drop it down to about 1.9, goes through all of these, well, specifically it just goes to this one, and then it goes back to the ground. So it's all individually, but still it's the same concept for all of them. It flows, drop down the electricity, goes through the light, and the next thing you know, it just flows back to the ground, and then it completes the circuit and completes the code, and it continue to loop forever because you got that void loop, man. There you have it. And I'ma always and forever put the code down in the description below for you guys, so you guys could copy and paste it if you guys need this for your project. So just to also break down, the range between how I have 2 through 9. So if I was to, remove this 1, it will still, see, I'm gonna just remove 2. So it'll still have that whole flowing aspect, but as you can see, it's just going through 2. So it's like 1 and 2. That's how you know that the whole flowing process isn't all together. It's all individual. So let me just put this back real quick. I'll show you guys like another example. So now it's back to flowing normally, right? So then let's say that I remove 7 and 4. So individually, the pins are still flowing in their original direction. But as you can see, it's still not like flowing like that though. It's still as if all of the lights was in a specific row and going in like chronological order. So that's something else you need to keep in mind. It's not necessarily that just basically coded everything to go all together. It's like, no, each individual LED is coded to do a specific time range of turning on and turning off. It's not like if I put in one here and like one here, it should just flow based on these two. Like, no, it's going to still have that range of flowing through different pins. So that's just something I wanted to also throw out there. So for example, if I had 1 through 9 or whatever, right, it'll still flow as if it's 1 through 9. But if I had like 1 to 2, it'll obviously just bounce back and forth and just flow through each one. So that's just something else I wanted to throw out there as a disclaimer. And that concludes this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. It really do help the channel. Definitely go check out my Instagram, greaterthansign123. And then go also check out my other YouTube channel. I'll have it linked down below. This was the channel I started a little while ago. It's basically about barbering and basically giving your own self a fresh cut and looking nice when you step out the house. So definitely check out that channel. I do all types of different haircuts. And be looking forward for the next video that drops. And I'm out.